Did I get y'all back? Y'all still in there? Excuse me. We good?
And power and speed and clarity and focus and fun.
Absolutely. Vortex, I knew exactly what you meant. Because people would say, oh, I want to get in Rusty's Tornado because it's a land of rainbows and unicorns on Gumdrop Mountain.
And power and speed and clarity and focus and fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So my husband and I would start doing our creation. We would sit by the pool, a very calming place, much like you've talked about with your pool and the dolphin. And so we follow music a lot, and we have an artist that we really enjoy. And so I said, well, let's go to London and see him. Okay, that's great. Let's get good tickets, okay. And so I started writing to the manager, and in my world, I knew that we would be backstage and hanging out. And so what ended up happening was a contest came about, and my husband called me and said, you have to enter the contest. And I'm like, well, I don't need to. Why would I need to enter the contest? It's done. He goes, just enter the contest for fun. So I entered, I won. We're in London, and we're getting ready with his manager to go backstage. And I'm like, well, thank you so much for just, sneaking my number in there. And he's like, oh no, I didn't do that. It was picked out of a fishbowl by my daughter of 3,000. And so it ended up, I go backstage, I meet the artist, and he's like, oh, you're from Tampa. And I'm like, yes, I am. And I'm very happy that you're going to start the U.S. part of your tour in Tampa, which they had not even developed a tour at that point. And so he looked at me quizzically, and it went on that we developed this really good friendship. And now he lives in Tampa. We're great friends. Hello, Andy. And we just sort of would sit by the pool, and I'd go, what are you going to say to Andy when you meet him? And so we would come up with the whole conversation and the whole dialogue, and it was all so real, and we had no resistance, and it was so wonderful.
We're appreciating the story, yes. And also, we want to add something to it, something important, and that is when the grid begins to fill in, it might be your partner's idea. You have to enter the contest. Follow those impulses, because in some ways, it was as if you were saying, the universe is going to give me what I want, but I have to take no part in the process. It's just going to appear in some sort of magical way.
Right.
And this demonstrates how those magical ways work, that you get an impulse, you have an idea, you meet someone says something. It's just a continual unfolding path. And we also want to acknowledge that the unfolding path is the fun part. In
Yes.
other words, it's great to get a culmination that you want, and it's wonderful to get to go backstage. And it's even more wonderful to develop a friendship with someone who you have really been admiring.
Right.
In other words, you had more in your vortex than you were even able to allow yourself to expect.
The 15 minutes
this
of...
This is the thing that we so much want all of you to hear. There is more in your vortex than you even will allow yourself to expect. And so the universe is bringing you along, giving you impulses and ideas with precision that is so sophisticated that every consideration is part of it. In other words, an idea that is not so big that it blows you out of the water and makes you not believe, but is big enough that you can accept your part in it. You see what we're getting at?
Absolutely, yes.
This is a very good discussion about following those impulses. You do it all the time, you just don't know you're doing it. And the more you are defining specific things that you want, in fact, it is only when you define, as in this experience, specific things that you want, and then the universe yields them to you, that you are then able to understand these important points: your point of worthiness, your point of readiness, your ability to follow the flow and receive the inspiration as it is coming. In years gone by, we have used this expression quite a bit. People worry that they will get to the dock after their ship has sailed. And we say, but there's another and 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 another. For everything that you want, right here, right now, where you stand, there are 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 viable opportunities to move you specifically in the direction of what you want, surrounding you at all times. And if that's a surprise to you, then that means you're not in the vicinity of what you want often enough to get those impulses. And usually it's because you're hung up on the I'm not getting or I don't have the manifestation that I want, rather than I'm enjoying the journey. It is so fun to watch the clever way that the universe is orchestrating things for me. So fun to watch the way the universe is orchestrating things for me.
I heard recently you use the words milking it, and
Yeah,
they had come
precisely.
to me this week. And so it was funny because we did milk it, and I had 5 minutes of material and questions to ask this person when we're finally just sitting in a bar, and 3 hours later we're still talking. So I'm still milking it, and at the end of it he goes, well, how do you have this energy, how do you have this spirit? And I gave him one of your tapes.
The other day, Esther was arriving in Boca for a seminar. And as they were driving in the car, Esther was thinking about Jerry and how many times they'd driven on that road and how much fun it was to move through the orange orchards and sort of reminiscing. And then almost always in the reminiscing of something wonderful, there is the tugging of the absence of it just for a moment. So like our friend earlier, she had the choice of going there or bringing herself back from it. And so, of course, we shouldn't say of course, because she always doesn't do that. But in this case, she brought herself back from it. And now she's talking out loud to Jerry in her mind, just speaking directly to him. And she said, I want to see you and I want to hear you. And this non-physical crap is not what it's cracked up to be. Because it was way more fun when we were romping through the orange orchards together.
Right.
And she said, I'm all right. I'm not complaining too much. I've accepted it. She said, I've accepted it. I don't like it, but I've accepted it. And then she just sort of settled down and continued to have a good time on the way to the hotel. And when she got to the hotel, she is dragging her bag behind her. She likes to just get hold of it and take it to the room herself. And she's going down the corridor, and as she is approaching her room, she can hear happiness inside the room, cheerful happiness, and she wondered what was going on in the room. And when she opened the door, there was a big black bird on the balcony. The windows were closed, the glass was closed, but the bird was perched on the back of the chair about this far from the window, looking right in at her. Chirping, 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 talking, saying, can you see me? Can you hear me? 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 And Esther began to laugh. The bird stayed for about 20 minutes and never stopped looking at her and never stopped talking to her, never stopped being visual to her. Later that day, after the seminar, the next day after the seminar, she left the hotel, and a bird that appeared to be very much like that went everywhere she went. It was in the tree at the restaurant. It was back on the balcony later that night. In other words, so what's that about? What it's about is whatever it is that you want, the universe will find the path of least resistance to bring it. Now, there are people who say, well, hold on, because not only is she weird and she something Abraham or something, but now she talks to birds too, and she appears to think that her dead husband is a bird. So I'm not sure how credible anything is here. But we demonstrate it because we want you to understand through the path of least resistance, whatever you're wanting will always be there. In other words, Esther was really specific. I want to see you and I want to hear you. Well, she's not going to hear him in the way she wants to hear him, but she was determined, she was focused, she was at actualized in a way that she had not been before. And so the universe says, this is as close to what you want we can come, given what you are thinking and believing right here and now. And Esther said, I'll take that. I'll take that. And
I heard that yesterday.
As you take what you take, in other words, as you trust, as you know these things, you are the center of your universe. And Source is focused upon you. And anything you want is valid and is in the works. And there is no exception. And it is as easy to create a castle as a button. And there is nothing that is off limits for you. If you desire it and you are able to achieve vibrational alignment with the Source within you about it, it must be, you say.
Yes.
Good.
I heard this story yesterday, actually. That was what was playing about Jerry in the corner of your house with the windows, with the bird, and seeing it. So that was very special.
Well, birds are very wonderful messengers, but this conversation is far beyond birds. It's that there are people, there are experiences, there are all kinds of circumstances and events. The details will unfold to you. The matchmaking, the coordinating, the orchestrating is beyond your ability to understand. Your Earth is spinning in its orbit in perfect proximity to other planets, and you take it for granted. And yet those same universal forces are orchestrating specifically on your individual behalf in ways that are as meaningful and as important as that, you see. So as you begin to accept your worthiness, as you stand in this place of positive expectation, and you begin identifying, and this is the thing that you're bringing to the forum here, and we really want to amplify it. Once you have identified that you want something, only once you have identified that you want something, are you ever going to be able to acknowledge the delivery of it as it comes. And that's the benefit of getting more and more specific about who you are and what you want. Define how you want the universe to deliver the details to you. But if you define how you want the universe to deliver the details to you from your place of yearning for the details that aren't there, then the more specific you become, the more resistant you become. So you have to go general if you are negative and specific if you are feeling good. That really is the rule of thumb. The better you feel, the more you milk it. The worse you feel, the more you go general. You following? Really good.
Thank you so much. I am complete for now.
Today's special offer will teach you 3 keys to unlocking your quantum powers. Simply go to solgood.org/power to learn more. After more than 50 years as a world-renowned spiritual teacher and researcher of human capacities, Dr. Gene Houston is ready to unveil the most important discovery.
So what y'all think about that? What y'all get out of that? I got 2 notes out of it myself. Anybody like to share anything? Finding the magical way. Now the title makes sense, especially after hearing it. Finding the magical way. So what she's referring to is mastering your now. Okay, she's talking about how to live in every single moment as a surprise. Right? So imagine, for those who have children, when your child wakes up in the morning, they don't sit down and say, all right, wake mama up at 8:10, I have my bottle. Like, that's not what's happening to that child's mind. So they're just moving. Right? And it's like that for them for quite some time until we start saying, yes, it was Abraham Hicks, until we start saying things like, no, or don't do that, or you gotta wait. This is where we start affecting their reality or shaping their world, right? But if you can do that now as an adult, it's pretty interesting. Like, you never know what moment you're gonna get. One moment you're like head over heels with this feeling of yes, and the next moment it's just like, what the, right? But it's no different than a child who's running around. And in the day that for those who have children, they'll look at their children. And their children will go through all these emotions, mad, glad, sad, happy, hungry, right? And they're not holding anything back. They're not holding anything back. They express their emotions, boom, 100%. Until we tell them, sit down, slow down, be quiet, stop running. And so as adults, we won't do that. Or the adults that I know, we don't invest into that as much as I think we should as men and women. And so I wrote down, enjoying the process is mastering your moment to such a way that it's like looking at life, but only at its best moments. But each moment is its best moment. When you truly enjoy the process and understanding what the magical way is that you always have enough. Everything is 100% perfect. How do we know this? Well, you were born and you're still alive at this very moment. And so you didn't survive all the shit you survived to be this miserable or this depressed or this anxious person. That's not why you're living. And so if you're alive right now, you literally have everything, every answer, every situation where you could inside your mind. Simply because all the other moments previous to this moment has worked out. Why do you think that the moments over there won't work out as well? So when you pull back and realize that this position you're in, this thing you're trying to do, there was a point where you didn't even think about this and what you did prior to being the person you are now. There was a time where that thing or that goal that you have already passed was all you thought about. And so when do you finally sit down and say, I'm good? Like, which finish line is it? Come on, think about it. Which finish line is going to make you be like, I'm good now? When you know what I'm saying? Like, when you get the degree, when you get degree number 7, when you make $1 million, or if you're going to have $999,099.99, are you going to be that upset? But is it because it has the value? Are you attached to any number inside of that number? Is it a dollar? Is it that dollar that you complained about having, but it's the same dollar you need in order to be a millionaire? It's all a hustle. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what, you can say, I'm good just like that. And the universe will be like, damn right. You've been good. You was good the day you was born. But no one told you. And so you're chasing everything else, looking for everything else. And everybody said, is where? Inside. You know what I'm saying? So enjoying the process is mastering your now to such a moment, to such a way that you're looking at life, but only at its best moments. P.S. Every moment is the best moment. That's how you should be able to live life. If you're surprised, you're surprised. If you're scared, you're scared. If it hurt, it hurt. No one said that you could not have your feelings, but just because you're pissed off don't mean you drive your car off the bridge. You sit down and call a friend. You meditate. You listen to happy music. You color. Do whatever. And so just because you're happy doesn't mean you go share with everybody. See what that shit feels like by itself. Check this out. You know how we're so quick to share memories about the things of the people we've done in the past in a positive sense? Can you give me a memory where you did something for yourself and it was like so good, like it's hard to say that it actually happened because you were the only one there? But that's the fucking point, right? I want to be able to share stories with my friends, about my friends, with other friends. But I also want to be able to share stories with my friends about the things that I've done. Just the same excitement. And they're like, damn, you did that? Who were you with? Shit, just me. Like, what? And then you got pictures. They're like, oh, damn. So you really went and did that? They're like, yeah. But it's no different than the time when he or she broke your heart. They're both moments. You're putting value to it. That moment that's so crushing to you might be somebody's Tuesday. That thing you say you wish would never happen again is somebody's every other weekend. If you can enjoy the process and remove value every time something happens, or remove value, remove your feeling to what you're saying is your so-called past or so-called memory, you'll start seeing that all you've been doing is living. And you've just been looking at it differently. So people like Abraham Hicks and Sadhguru and Jay Shetty and all the other people and Thich Nhat Hanh we've been listening to, they allow us to see that drastic issue. I helped a friend that was dealing with abortion and how he got the mother to understand that when things are happening, the baby is going to make adjustments based off of the energy the mother is feeling to say if it's, a safe environment to be born in. And the only person who can make that decision, right, is the mother. And so, quite often those who are, anti or pro-abortion or whatever, for me, it's always been that you must take value to who is doing this, right? Regardless if you're the greatest man in the world or the worst man in the world. What's going on, this moment for them is going to do way more than what you could possibly ever imagine because it's them that's going through it. And so, shout out to anybody who's ever had to be in such a situation. But when your moments come and they're good, this is what they mean by milking it. This is the enjoying the moment. When that moment is good, man, you milk it. I mean, you hold on and you enjoy it. And then you sit there and you take gratitude towards it. And you say thank you. And you do what you want with that moment as long as it's not to hurt you or others. Because when they're bad, they be bad, don't they? When they bad, right? Think about when they bad, they never go fast enough. You just be in that mode, just be like, dang, didn't see this coming. And so by understanding what she means in milking that process, milking that, you know what I'm saying? You like that, Jennifer? Milking that process, milking that moment where it's just so fucking good, milk it. Because as soon as you get off the phone or as soon as you meet the next person, they might say the most ugliest thing. And you're not expecting it because, you love unexpectedly. But when stuff like that happens, regardless of how good your heart is, that's not a moment you would like to have. The best thing to do is to learn how to navigate through such troubled times. So when them good moments come in, enjoy them. One more point she had made on there as far as lower vibration and higher vibration. This is how I look at it. When it comes to manifesting, you manifested every vibration. Hear me now. But let's just say you understand manifestation in a sense of range. This is high vibration, love, low vibration, I'm pissed off. When you're pissed off, do not make the same manifestations as you do up here, such as relationship stuff, right? Don't put that down here. Leave your relationship stuff up here. Now, I'm not saying that you should ever actually manifest at this level, but people do, and they don't know what to do with this energy. So when they get upset and they'll be like, oh, F you, or I hope you, or wish you, stuff like that. And we don't think, but it's because of the lower energy that has that vibration that we call it so-called passion. But if you are being ugly or nasty, for lack of better words, and you're not feeling good, try to keep your decision-making skills to a freaking minimum. And you will avoid a lot of screwing over some of your manifestation, blocking your blessings. You'll get to the point where you'll realize that if you're not feeling good, right? That's one of the reasons why I wasn't making videos, because I was feeling other energy. I'm like, this is not what I'm trying to feel. And so I take accountability to my energy. And so no matter what it is that I'm doing, if it's certain things that I want to do, if that energy is not right, I'm not doing it. I don't care. I'm not doing it. And so when I started to feel the energy, I did, meditation and all this other, some cool stuff that I learned that I can do. At the energy level, get to the point where you are making decisions just on foods and what you're watching for TV, right? Get to the point where you're teaching yourself things where I have to have a higher level of clarity, or things where I need to have a higher level of attention and focus. I'm going to leave that when I know that I'm in a state of receiving and giving. When I'm at my best state of being able to give. And you do things to raise that vibration, whether it's music, dance, take a bath, take a shower, go for a walk. And then when you get there, that's why people are like, yo, give me a minute, right? Give me some time to, when that vibration is low, make it very minimum to the things you're manifesting. And so this is going to allow the vortex and the things that you're asking for to align properly. And so you'll be able to receive the things as your manifestation starts to, as your energy starts to rise, your manifestation starts to come in. This is kind of like when you start feeling better, you start cleaning, because your manifestation, you're starting to do things, right? And you'll see that pattern. But when it's low, that doesn't mean that you're not manifesting. Just be careful what you ask for, especially when you're feeling that way. But as it starts getting up, right, you start feeling better. You start manifesting things mentally. And then, of course, for those enlightened and highly conscious people, you'll be able to not so much as control, because after a while, it's not about control anymore. It's like you control it, and then you're like, oh, shit, I'm just going to be me. That's it. And so whatever's happening is supposed to happen. And you learn how to interpret, right, the matrix or the reality that you see along with yours. But once again, higher level of vibration, manifest your big things. Lower level vibration, go home, go sit down, go eat a bag of chips, go meditate, go do something to get that vibration to do its thing. And then start asking for your manifestations. Thank you, Gabby. Good morning, love. Appreciate the feedback, y'all. Texas, actually, I'm in Texas now, but I've lived. I'm a vet, so I've been a couple of places, Magic. Appreciate the gift, y'all. All right, so let's do some Sadhguru. What started my spiritual path? Ghost, asking me that question about a year ago, I thought I knew. And each day I'm starting to realize that question is like saying, when did you start walking? And you realize that you're only mimicking what people told you. You don't really remember starting to walk at the age of 9 months. Maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. But you are walking. And so children don't really think about when did you start walking. And this is how I've learned what happens to people's consciousness. This is what's happened to my consciousness. And so I realized, I was like, I started walking when I was 3 or whatever, because I couldn't remember much of anything else. And then I was just like, no, when I found my mom and dad, they were like, nah, you were walking at 9 months. And I was just like, oh. Or my dad, my mother's passed. And I was just like, huh. I really didn't know when I started walking. And so when I started to realize what I thought was consciousness, or for me to have my so-called spiritual path, I started to say it was towards another young lady. And it really was. But here's the weird part. It's the remembrance of my mother. And once, for those who hear the story, then, it's all the way to the age of 8. And so when I get to that point in my life, because I've done the shadow work, right, going backwards, right, and I'm seeing the resemblance between these relationships, these exes, that's had me in this view, but I'm also looking at a relationship I built with my mother from that weird time frame that I was with her. And then I just keep going back and keep going back. And I was just like, it's all connected, right? And so for me, it was, listen, I'm trying to tell you. Sometimes I thought it was because of the first time I took celibacy, where I was like 18 months just focused on me. I was a recruiter in Florida. But before that, I thought it was because of the situation with my ex. But I took that, and I had some people come into my life, some mentors and other spiritual people, and they broke that down to me. I was just like, oh, damn. And I never really thought about it like that. And then so on and so forth. And then the high level of trauma. And then I got introduced to a lot of different things. So I was just like, what? So it's like we're all spiritually awoken right now. But some people don't know that they're walking. And indeed, what's happening is that they're like flying around people. But we call them angels, but we treat them like shit. If that makes sense. And we see the oddity to these people and the uniqueness to these people. They're almost like too good to be true, or anybody that falls into that realm inside your head. If not, then it's yourself. And you start to see them grow differently. You start to see them to do things differently. We've all seen it, whether it's been some actor or whatever, like their life moves a little differently. And when you start hearing their story, they'll put this point towards it. But if you keep up with them, then you see that they started to kind of change before then. And then you realize this is connecting. And it's just like, when did you start your spiritual path? It's no longer, December 4/20. It's no longer that. So I was like, man, am I that guy now? Do I give like all my answers like that? I'm just like, but it does make sense to me. A child doesn't know when they start walking until someone tells them. In their head, they might have been walking at whatever age. And then you realize that you're awakened now. And we're all on this long continuum of enlightenment, right? Even when I'm like, man, I learned a lot of shit today. And I'm like, man, I don't know if it get any deeper. And then I wake up tomorrow and be like, what? So does that kind of answer your question? Sadhguru Love? We're about to start him. I've been good, Gabby. I was trying to explain that energies, if I'm not able to create a certain frequency, then I won't create. So if I, whenever, I'm going to say jinx myself, whenever, other people start working with me and how I operate on how I have things of creativity, as my friend said, I get my Kanye on, right? I feel it at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll be ready to roll. Or, you do your Beyonce. For those who know, some of the greats in their work ethics, right? For those who follow like Pac, I love how Pac was like, you would do the laughing and the joking, the drinking and the smoking and the ladies. But they say when it was time for Pac to work, his work ethic, it was not a game. If you can do all that, then you can get in here in the studio and, produce. And so, I take great value to being able to know that when it's time, it's time. And so if you respect your energies and the people that you're operating with, you can get, a higher quality of life, right? Kind of like making those decisions and when you're making them during your frequencies. saw a mountain lion, but it was a spiritual. Really? Were you dreaming or? Apparently 3 month gestation. Man, TikTok was exposing stuff. Watch, Magic. I'm gonna make sure we stay friends. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna remember that name and tell you TikTok, because you're saying that TikTok gonna somehow explain that, and I'm gonna do some research. Watch, because I've heard other stories where people are having like memories, past lives, and what day they were conceived and what their mom had on, like some crazy like. So you have done no readings. Every human being can become godlike. Sadhguru. No, I don't, girly. I don't do readings. Was it in a dream, or were you like sitting down, or was it kind of like at your like? How do you see your spirits? What I'm asking you. Oh, we're talking about how every human being can become godlike. Sadhguru. Hey, King, how you doing, man? People who have dreams and remember them as children, like I have some, but I don't do dreams like my children. When I dream vivid, like colorful. But my children, they have dreams, and I be like, man, I swear, y'all like some little messages, and I teach them how to, interpret their dreams, especially my son. Like he's been having, I don't know what's going on with his little thing, all the time. And so I always find it interesting when people actually have the ability to like remember their dreams with like such clarity. Man, if you do remember dreams like that, start writing them down. Start writing them down and find somebody who will interpret that stuff for you. That's literally your future being given to you. Every dream you ever have is your future. Yep. It's how you interpret it that gives you what it is you're looking for. You see something that's positive, you think positively, you tell the dream in a positive way, you share that, it becomes a spell, that energy gets shared with another person, the person agrees with you, that raises the vibration and frequency towards that manifestation becomes stronger the more people you tell, right, so on and so forth. If it's something that's negative, and then the list goes on, so on and so forth. Dreams are literally bam, 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 your future. Good, look at you, King. Congratulations. Oh, okay. We're going to press play. But I want to hear about it. Man. But same relationship? Same relationship? I don't know. I don't, jump the gun and, be somebody new. I was not dreaming walking from my car into the house. I'm told things in dreams about people sometimes. Mine is a memory, not a dream. I said, Mommy, it was crazy. I forgot Eve, my old child. Oh, I fought Eve, my old child. I'm sorry, Magic. Are you good now? That's why it's deja vu. What do you mean, Amber? Did I miss something? Did you get a Zoom a while back? If so, what happened? No, No, I didn't. I did 90. It was, no, I didn't. Hey, Denisha, good morning. Hey, Woods. My family tell me not to dream about them. They tell you not to dream about them? Hey, Olivia. My dad can't say when I was young, I woke up and told my mom my friend dad was dead. Oh no, trucking. I'm gonna need you. That's some power there, Mom. Oh, okay, got you. Yes, deja vu. Now I'm rocking with you. I got you, Amber. Yeah. That's pretty, it's a lot. Good morning, unbothered. Aries. Supreme Awakening, Grand Risings. All right, let's go ahead and get this started real quick. I'll continue talking to you out there.
The geometry of the body is about creating a divine form from an ordinary flesh. Rearranging the geometry of the body is about creating a divine form from an ordinary flesh and bone system that we have. These 114 chakras, if we rearrange them in a certain way, a complete different possibility becomes available around those forms. So in India, such people get referred to as Bhagwan. What we refer to as the universe or as cosmos is essentially a complex amalgamation of forms. All these forms, planets, stars, the whole systems, these are all forms. When these forms evolve over a period of time to become efficient forms, seemingly perpetual, they have become seemingly perpetual in our experience because of the perfection of geometry that they have arrived at. It's not something that is suddenly happened. Each one of these forms have evolved over a period of time. Certain forms which evolved beyond a certain point. When I say a certain point, if a form evolves beyond what the human form is competent of doing, then we would refer to that as the divine form, because anything that is above our capability and competence becomes divine in our experience. So when we say divine forms, the misunderstanding in the monotheistic religions is that those who have many forms have lost their way. That is, they do not know what divinity is, they have invented too many images. These forms are not invented, they're derived. By observing the nature of the universe, identifying that certain forms are able to perform and exist in a reverberance which is beyond what is normally considered human, then all those forms we identified as divine forms, which are worthy of looking up to. Above all, these are forms we have to learn how to use, how to become accessible to these forms which are more competent forms than our own form. There are natural forms on this planet which can function in a higher intensity than the human form, or we can assemble forms, or we can create forms, a certain combination of forms which will function in a higher way than the way we are right now. In fact, the whole system of yoga is just about arranging or rearranging your own form. These 114 chakras, which are a certain energy forms by themselves, if we rearrange them in a certain way, the same human being who was just flesh and blood, living within the compulsive nature of that dimension of life, can suddenly be transformed into a higher possibility. It is those people who have transformed themselves or the geometry of their existence to a higher level, either by realization or by understanding or by sheer intensity of energy or emotion, they have transformed themselves into a higher geometric form so that their very presence exudes a completely different dimension of energy, a complete different possibility becomes available around those forms. Then we refer to those forms as divine forms. So in India, such people get referred to as Bhagwan, or there are so many other names which essentially means godlike or divine. The nature of the human body has come with a certain arrangement. There's a whole science which has become a very quasi kind of science these days because of the intuitive sciences have fallen on bad places because general integrity in the society has fallen. People start saying things, guesswork is considered intuition. Otherwise, whenever a child is born, usually in India, they used to call a person who's intuitive, who'd come and observe the geometry of the child's body and would say, this is what is possible in this child's life. Not by looking at the stars, but simply looking at the geometry of the child's body, the energetic geometry of the child's body. Probably most of you have heard about how a certain person predicted Gautama, the Buddha's future. He said he will either become a great emperor or a great saint. So this may, for logical minds, this may look like, oh, this is, come on, this or that. Both sides of the coin, if you say you are bound to be right. No, he's only talking about looking at the intensity of the geometry. He's saying, either in the material world he will achieve great things. Because he's a king's son, he's saying maybe he will become a great emperor. Or because of a certain observation, if such intensity is there in the child, why would he waste his time ruling over people? He would rather embrace them, which is more sensible to do. He would rather transform them, which is more sensible to do. So, he said the intensity is going beyond being an emperor. Being a king's son, probably he will become an emperor. But when I look at the intensity of the geometry, maybe he will become a great sage. Well, he turned out the other way around. He was not wrong in that prediction. If he had fallen back in his life for some reason, maybe he would have become a great emperor, a conqueror. Maybe he would have conquered many lands and become a great emperor. Great emperors did not happen without so much guile, violence and many things which most people wouldn't want to do in their lives. To be a great emperor, you have to do many things that a whole lot of sensible people will not be willing to do. So Gautama chose the other way around and the prediction was not wrong. The prediction is he is looking at the seed and this can become a great tree. So the geometry of the body, rearranging the geometry of the body is about creating a divine form from an ordinary flesh and bone system that we have. Is something wrong with flesh and bone? Nothing wrong. It comes with its limitations. It's a compulsive form. Is something wrong being compulsive? Nothing wrong if you don't appreciate what it means to be free. Nothing wrong being compulsive. Is something wrong being a creature on this planet? Nothing wrong. It is just that if you die without exploring the possibility of being something more, human life does not get fulfilled. Every life, from the smallest to the biggest, is aspiring to become a full-fledged life. Because the human being has come with this possibility which is quite limitless, because of that, people are trying to fix their ambitions and goals in their life. What is a seamless possibility? People are trying to fix it so that they will feel like achievers. If they pass an examination, they feel great. If they get a job, they feel great. If they earn $1 million, they feel great. Some nonsense like this.
We just talked about
This
it.
is like, among the lame people, you're a champion just because you have 2 legs. Human possibility has come with a seamless possibility. There is no way you or me can fix a goal, if I reach this, I'm done. It's a stupid way to culture one's life. If you arrange your inner geometry properly, this becomes a machine to go very far. How far it goes internally is entirely determined by the human being, the individual being. But how far it goes in the world are determined by the times, by the society, the social structures, so many things. You may get knocked down on the way. You may not get crucified, somebody may run you down on Highway 8, you know. So, how far we get in the world are subject to many things. How far we get within ourselves is just a question of arrangement of geometry, understanding, realization, understanding and the competence of being able to arrange it. The whole yogic system, starting from the physical phase of asanas to everything, is essentially to reorganize or to re-engineer our geometry in such a way that it begins to function in a way that you have not imagined possible till now. To live your life beyond your ambitions. The stupid ambitions have come to you because of a limited society in which you're living. Based on that, if you are a little one step ahead of your neighbor, your ambitions are realized. No, I'm not just thinking about this, I want to be the richest man in United States. It is still among the lame. Among the lame you're a champion, that's all. So, a seamless possibility need not be encapsulated into something silly based on the circumstances in which we are living right now.
What did y'all think about that? Every human being can become godlike. All right, before I even start running my mouth, which I got, damn, I got 3 notes off of that one. And I feel like it ties into the last one, like that's kind of scary that I literally is talking about you cross the finish line, you go, you get your award, you get your degree, right? I love this shit. I don't even know what this shit is. I love it. I treat this like I found out. I treat what I have in my life at this very moment, y'all, as if I was a woman and I just found out I got pregnant. That's how much I love this shit. Oh, I love this shit. Like, does that make sense? Like, that's how much I love this. What is this? I don't know. You title it. I don't give a shit. Call it what you want. It's like, you, right? If someone says they love you, you shouldn't need an explanation. you should be like, yeah, I know. Right? It's like your kids, like your children know. Like perfect love, I get, or magic, or perfect situation. Like I get it. But really dig in there. And so when you bing, get your whatever, like you love that. You live at this, you live at this present clarity. Right? I like that. Present clarity. I like that. I like the way that tastes. That tastes good. Present clarity. You like that, trucking? What's up, Brianna? Thank you, Keisha. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Magic. You are beautiful, love. I've read up on Kundalini. It's a lot of, I agree with a lot what I read about in Kundalini. Kundalini. Yeah, yeah. You finding the real you. Present clarity. Present clarity. I like that. It just tastes good. Let's do this. Oh, I knew what you meant. I like that, Gabby. Once you learn to love unconditionally, birthing else matters, or nothing else matters. Or you mean birthing? Present clarity. I wrote that down. Present clarity. Present clarity. I don't think I've ever heard those two words put together. Me personally. No? Miss Nessa, love, how have you been? I miss y'all. I have. So he was talking about present clarity, right? That is a good one, right? I like it. All right, so understand that out of 19 of us right now, 20, that we're all are not going to see divinity to be the same thing. And if you really have the ability to experience divinity, let's just say you were divine. You were divinity. Would you judge anybody? Would you hurt anybody? Would you do anything to take their light away? Would you do anything to take their glimmer, their shine? Would you do anything at all if you were divine? I would say you would do your damnedest not to do anything to, right? You would like really try. And I started to realize that what could be divine to you, this pen, a feeling, something you see in a piece of art, may not be divine to someone else. But is it fair to say that what they are viewing or what they're seeing is not divine? And we do it. We do it every single time we, as a people, as humans, judge another. As soon as we judge a person, our divinity is in question, if you will. We always had it. We've had it since we've been born. But we have to give up our divinity. Our divinity is going to be given up. You're going to give it up. But how do you do it? So that's your love, that's your God, that's your freedom. Is it taken away from you? Or are you strong enough to offer it to everyone? You're not going to die with your freedom. And so the time that you have right here, right now, you get to decide how you're going to spend your freedom. How you're going to spend your life. Somebody said you have 2 childhoods. The second one, you get to decide what to do with it. You can't lose that way. The first one is just one big ass step. You got to learn real quick. And then you fall in love with yourself. And you humble yourself. And you stay joyful. And that's why you get like kid-like real quick. You get kid-like real quick. Simply just by knowing that every single person, every single thing, every single object, every single moment is as divine as you could imagine. It's so divine. You just don't see how many muscles are pulling as you hear these words, how many synapses going off in your head, how many times your heart is beat, how many airs that you have taken, or how many times you've blinked, or how many times you smiled, how many times all that shit is divine. But do you know how to have it? You got to do one thing to have this. Be born. That's it. You could have died the moment you were born. Could have died 10 seconds ago. And so if you see that every single moment is as divine as any moment, as any proposal. I told a friend that every moment in my life is the equivalency of every single woman being proposed to, every single man being proposed to, every single whatever yeehaw moment at the same moment. Sometimes the girl says yes, sometimes she says no. That's life. If you're that child and you get your second chance, you do all you can to not hurt others. Sometimes you have to learn how to play by yourself before you invite others to play a game that you hardly understand the rules of. When I wrote down was that divinity is subjective to one's own imagination, which is true. Freedom holds the same position. On the outside looking in, somebody's looking at you in your relationship and they're just like, why do you let him or why do you let her treat you that way? And in your head, you're like, I'm great. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But to them, you're in a living hell. Freedom is subjective. Yes, we understand what it looks like to be a prisoner of war for those who understand that, but do not make the assumption that 7.8 billion people understand that. You'll be a interesting person if that's the stance you'd rather take. I wrote down that your body is your mind. But your mind is everything, because everything's connected. You control every single thing. But because of the mind and body connection, this allows you to manipulate your environments. Whether you're dancing, running, swimming, thinking, talking, everything we do sends vibrations into the air that affects our very being. And the more you do, and consistency to what we call a pattern, right? The more things starts to change around you, but we don't necessarily feel that it's happening because of our ability to see what we think is called time. But if we're patient enough, then all of a sudden things still happen. You're still moving, you're still talking, you're still thinking, you're still walking, you're still doing all these other things, and we can't see that it's just this one beautiful musical note of everybody doing things at the same time. But you have to slow your mind down long enough to see it from a higher perspective, to see that you're walking, this person is eating this person is doing that, this person is doing that, and then you just look at it and you're just like, wow. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. No one's doing anything wrong. And even in the most darkest challenge, for those who've heard my stories, it's unfortunate. There are things that happens that we do not like. And that's different. But there are things that happen against our will. And when you see the value of all the things you've been through, all the things you've faced, this is what I mean by understanding that for your mind and how your body has been through all what it's been through, you start to see the strength of not just your mind, but your body itself. The changes from being small to being bigger, to losing weight, to gaining weight, to broken, to being healing. You'll see that your body has survived sickness after sickness and illness after illness after so many different things. And you're whatever age you are at this moment, and you're like, holy shit, I can do anything. But you feel like you have to have these positions and steps that everyone has told you in the past that you got to do. And there are people telling you, nah, just go sit down and meditate. They're like, it's not that easy. I said, imagine if it was. And you're like, oh shit. It's that easy. But if we started believing that everything was inside of us, then we wouldn't need the pretty cars. Don't get it twisted. I like a nice ride. I like the nice hoodies and my Scullies. I like my water. I like right? But having those external things should not put value onto who you are internally. So it should be the other way around. And so if you say you like a pen, you don't have to describe or explain to anybody why you like a pen. You like a pen. And the people on the outside of you seeing you treat that pen a certain way, what they start to realize is that this is how you desire to be treated. And then you respond to the energy of what others do to you. Because you can't control nobody. You can't control anybody to do anything to you. And so you get to be you 100%. And if you like it, yay, they like it. It's cool. Guess what? I get to do this all day because that's what I do. You know, me. But if you get to do you and somebody else like, I don't like that you do that. You're like, what you want me to do? Right? I want you to change. Like, are we going to talk about this? Or is this a pattern of how things are supposed to be? Every time you don't like something, I got to change. That's not. Right? And so when you see that you can close your eyes and do that, it gets pretty interesting. It gets pretty interesting. And so it's funny that it leads into present clarity. It's because the action of a person shows the authenticity on how they're going to treat you in the future. All you have to do is look at your now and see if they can exist in it without any complications. And I'm talking about, you ever been so mad or upset at somebody or what have you, and they're like there, but they're one of these people that you're like, I can work this out with you. I can be frustrated and I know that I can be here and you know that my energy is not harmful, right? These are the people who are able to talk in such a fashion that allows them to navigate through some of the most arduous things, contracts, lawyers, judges, like they're cops for those who get, right? You can learn that and maintain your peace and say your words, be a great debater, intellectual debater. You say intellectual, not everybody is a decent debater, but you're able to communicate and you're to stand your ground. This is what I've learned of being able to invest into your own energy and have you know that if someone's being authentic to you or not. And here's the trick, or here's a tip. I don't wake up hurting my children, so why are we waking up to people choosing to hurt us when, oh, by the way, I've known you for this amount of time and I've never hurt you, not one single day. I'm gonna catch up on these comments. Thank you, Magic. Yes, I'm looking forward to putting on the people. All right, Miss Sassy. Thank you, Mad Love. Good, Truckin'. I'm sorry, Queen. Good, Gabby. George, I appreciate your blessings. So when people do stuff like that, and man, I know it might seem silly, man. Raising your energy, sometimes it's just as easy as writing a letter to a friend who may never ever get it. I'm not lying. Because the energy of you writing that letter will have you think so intensely about that man or about that woman that they'll fuck around and text you or write you. That's how powerful being kind is. And I wish people just took that, like, of all the stuff you've been taking, make that your new drug, if you will, for like the next 30 days and tell me how you like it. Seriously. Drug is a hard term because of how people view things, and words fine. Make it your new boyfriend or girlfriend. I don't care. So I appreciate it, George. I appreciate the love and the anointing that y'all giving to each other. Yes, indeed, Ezo. When you pull the trigger, you've attempted to hurt yourself, Magic? What's up, Society Rest? Thank you, BD. Oh, talking to the dead. Are you doing text talk or talking fast, Magic? Thank you, Society Rest. Thank you, Diane. Use love first, indeed, Keisha. Key, when you said you've seen my faults, what faults do you have and who told you that these were faults? Remember, a 2-year-old is not waking up saying, man, today I suck at walking. They're just going to keep walking no matter how many times they step on something or screw up something. Like, they're going to find a way because in their heads, ain't nothing wrong. Right? They're going to find a way over this obstacle to get to do whatever they need to do. I'll tell you a parable that I heard today that was pretty dope. And so a child's mind is not set in defeat until we're taught these little weird things. And so if you as a person are saying things like, I've seen my faults, I've seen my issues, and this is where people are like, you're being egotistical, you're being such and such or such and such. And I'll show you how to turn it around and transmute it. But be careful when you're calling yourself out of your own name. It's 7.8 billion people, and all you need is one person to be like, yeah, you're right. You did have faults. And the next time you say, I'm good, and somebody says, no, you got more faults. And you're like, well, let me go find these faults that I haven't seen yet. So be mindful on what you're saying is false. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but make sure that they're false that you have found that you want to change in value, not because of the existence of someone else. When we walk in love, we assure ourselves of positive outcomes. Yes, society. What's up, bro? Good morning, Chief. Good, Key. Good. What's going on, Magic? thank you, Julian. I appreciate that, man. There is life that needs to be saved. They are waking while captive. No, I don't. Trust in your heart makes your dreams come true. Yes, yes, indeed, some. Like a pebble dropped on a pond, you are the ripple, my friend. Position and directions are paramount. Yes, indeed. Yes, yes. But every other body is also you trying to share the darkness that stars leave behind. Yes, but every other body is also you trying to share the darkness that stars leave behind. Help me out, Day. Thank you, Diane. It's easy to good, Key. Yes, I like that. I like the society. Hey, our brother, good rest, but think of the just done to our Lord. What do you mean? Like it on top? Yes, good. Thank you, 1961. I cannot be without her. Love without no expectations. Yes, Muckbug, love with no expectations. I'ma love you and go hard. If you treat me bad, that's on you. If you treat me good, that's on you. How I treat you is on me. And if it rocks out, then we good. If it don't, then I move around or you move around. Outside of that, I don't judge you on your decision. If you spit on my face, I'm like, man, you like spitting in people's faces? Like, I love spitting in people's faces. Like, I don't like that. I'm gonna go over here. Let me spit in your face. I said I don't like it. Don't force me to do something I don't like now. Right? That's different. I said I don't like it. I'm gonna go over here. That's it. For them to be able to be them without you having to change anything, they can still go and spit in other people's faces. If you want to do something about that, you do something about it. If you don't, then you don't. They're gonna judge you regardless of what you do. Love unexpectedly. You'd be surprised how people really, really love you. Yep, Mukbug, yep, they're going to do what they want to do. Yep. Who's gaslighting magic? People are going to do what they want to do. How do you react so you don't fall? Thank you, Queen. Good morning, Burn. I love this live stream, but it's just so hard not to. What you got going on? Don't turn on me. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let them hate, Magic. Let everybody hate. If they want to hate, let them hate. Are you doing anything to hurt yourself? Or are you doing anything to hurt others? Not in view to perception or their reality. When I say hurt others, if someone says you're hurting them, ask them to leave your life. If you're trying to love someone, I'm saying I'm going to love the hell out of you. You're hurting me. I'm not going to force it. What's going on, Sideways? How you been? I'm sorry, Magic. Indeed, bruh. Indeed. I need to write a note. I still need to call Shoney's. Not Shoney's. That's what keeps happening. It's not Shoney's. Shiloh's Inn. We're still traveling, y'all. We haven't made the first trip yet, but I promise you, we're documenting all of it. What's going on, Maxa? Thank you for the gifts. Appreciate the follow. A little Abraham and a little Sado Guru. We might squeeze one more. So I keep seeing about darkness and stars leave behind. A part of the yin and yang world in the culture, as far as finding balance, is that there is no bad, there is no good, right? And so what people call evil or heaven and hell, or like it's all the whole duality towards your mind. And so I like to use this as a viewer of reference. I like to say that I've made up. Don't forget that it is the night sky that holds all the stars and the sun. Once you see the beauty to the darkness and truth and reality, you'll see why the stars look so good. Because without the darkness, they will never shine. So appreciate the darkness and the stars. To see that in its reality, that is truly the glory, because you have to have its existence. That's why if I see or hear or smell evil, I need you to know that I automatically know it's love. Because existence is love. But how it's used gets morphed, right? Whether it's pure or covered up. And so if someone sees something that's dark and can still see the light, they will never judge the darkness, regardless of how much darkness it is, whether it's a sliver or it's something this thick, because they always see the light. So don't be afraid of the dark, ever. Like, it's a trick. It's all a game. You want all of it. You're not going to find the perfect person. It's just getting the right balance and love. There's a gentleman, I haven't suggested anybody to follow y'all, but I'm telling you, this guy he sees relationships on how I see it and try to explain it. And it's dope because of what I now know. I know what it means to be in someone's life now than I did literally a year ago. And so when I say that it takes two in a relationship, well, I'll give me a second. I'll see if I can find one where you're like, it's worth it. It's a couple of good ones.
Daddy, what's emotional fusion?
All right, Jordan, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your
Relationship.
If you believe that you can, what's the greatest gift you can give me?
Focused attention.
And can you create a quality relationship by yourself?
No.
Of course not, right? Because it takes us both to create this amazing relationship. If you try to create it on your own, it won't work, right? It takes both of us to create this amazing relationship.
And so just on hearing that and being able to remember, we only got 60 seconds to get this information out. So when I heard it, I was like, yes, this is good. So I started going through his content. His name is Roberto Paes. And so I'll type it in there. But we often forget that relationships and how people are going to look at this is husband and wife, boyfriend and girl. This is any relationship. This relationship, the relationship with the cashier, the relationship that you're going to have tomorrow. Like this is every single relationship. And he gives a very present clarity, very clear way on how to look at relationships and being able to navigate healthy. Let's see if there's another one in there.
This might blow your mind. Your brain is filtering 2 million bits of information per second, and each second you're deleting, distorting, and generalizing that information. Your brain filters that information based on what you believe, so when your partner says she's not in the mood for sex, and you get triggered because internally what you really heard was, I don't want you, I don't like you, and I'm gonna leave you, it's not that she said that, it's that you have unconscious filters that process information to validate that you believe you will be abandoned. Watch that again. This might...
Yeah. Did you hear it? So when a person rejects you, they're not actually rejecting you. You're taking it your subconscious is taking it in an unfiltered way where you feel like they're attacking you, but they're not attacking you. They're just being them. And so if you don't know how to properly navigate your own emotions and speak to a person, then you'll have that constant triggering reaction. This is where your conflict comes in. This is where the frustration, because you want to make sense of what it is you're seeing. You want to make sense of what it is that they're saying. But instead, because of how you were treated as a child, shut up, I give you something to cry about. I don't want to talk about it now. Here, take this cookie, go sit down and watch TV. We're taught to deal with it in that way. And instead of sitting down and seeing it through, it becomes this repetitive cycle. And so he has... Let me see if I can get enough. He has quite a few.
Hey, Daddy.
Yeah.
How do I love myself?
You ever hear the saying, actions speak 1,000...
That's a good one too. Hold on.
Hey babe, why can't I find a relationship?
You can't find a relationship because you think you need someone to be happy. You see, human beings, we attract situations and circumstances that validate what we believe. So if you believe that you need someone to be happy, you will attract situations that prove to you that you are not worthy of love. You need to recognize your worth, act in ways that show yourself love, and then all of a sudden you start attracting people and situations that validate the fact that you are worthy of love.
Hey babe, why?
Good morning, Jessica. Excuse me. But he's very good on relationship advice, relationship across the board, being your own self person. And these little tidbits was just like little things where I was just kind of like tapping into things that, has been downloaded inside my head and learning how to be in people's lives. Remember, I'm looking at it on how to be in your life versus on how to you to be in my life, because I want to have an effective effective relationship or a healthy relationship. And in order to have a healthy relationship, you need to be able to speak to the people that's in your life, regardless if it's to get gas from the gas station to asking that man or asking that woman to marry you. Excuse me. Thought she was doing it to fight. It is amazing when you change and see the change in them. We're not meant to be monogamous. No, I don't believe we are. They're 1961. My fiance, her baby daddy of almost 7 years. I'm sorry, Magic. We're living with my mom, toxic. We were living with my mom, toxic, and my dad, Magic, I want to ask more questions, but it's going to pull more attention towards you. And what you're speaking of seems to be more than just something that I can keep up with. So, by all means, hit me up in my DMs, because you got a lot going on there, Queen. I'm with you, Key. I like that. He has a hard time. Words can be manipulated in a term. It is explaining and getting their point of view. And I can't communicate too much. Why do you? No, you don't, Magic. Girl, who said you communicate too much? Hey, Jasmine, Grand Rising to you. Yep. Yeah, he's pretty dope, y'all. He's pretty dope. So I learned a dope trick. I heard it before, but it wasn't until I finished what I had been trying to go through till I realized something. And so I'm gonna share it with y'all when I get to the bottom of these comments. I give y'all the name. What's this man just said applies to people who are insecure. Insecure minds will assume. True. That's true, Mac. What's that? What's still inside of you, Key? So asking why do you love me is not a good thing. It's like asking your baby infant, do you love me and why? Learn to walk in the dark as you do the light, no matter what you're going to shine. Yes, Keisha, I like that. All right, let me get this gentleman's name. It's the conscious coach. There you go. Good morning. Good morning, Mary. Hey, Natalie. Good morning. This is the best way I can possibly think of to start my weekend. Good, Natural Magic. Yep, I know now it's my own issue, not involving myself, not loving myself. Yes. Remember when I hesitate, y'all, now when I hear not loving myself. I hesitate because no one doesn't love themselves. I know, just think about it. What's happening is that we don't know how to express how we love ourselves. And so it's like a whole nother language, like we're speaking Spanish or something. And everybody's looking at us like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what that meant. They're like, well, do you get it now? We're like, yeah. Can you stop it now? You'd be like, nah, I like the language we were talking before. Like, I don't talk that way. I don't vibe that way. That doesn't make sense to me. So it's not that you're not loving yourself. It's that how you were taught to take care of yourself has caused you harm. And so the method in which you used to take care of yourself is not beneficial to you anymore. And so the change comes from within, internally, so that you can find that level of love that you can vibrate with in a healthy fashion. And you learn how to share that. I'm learning to let my man be the man. Good, Keisha. Let everybody be equal. How about that? I know we have old conditioners on how we run our relationships or how relationships should be ran or what we think should be done in a relationship. There should be no limits. It should be boundless, right? You should be everything. Every day should be like, damn, we did a lot today. Even if you just sat down in the bed and ate burgers all day. Oh, no, why are you embarrassed, Magic? Hello again, Mary. All right. Thank you, Natalie. I appreciate that. Exactly. Hey, Raider girl. Been a minute. Grand Rising Caramel. Good, Gabby. Oh. What's up, Natural? Supreme Awakening Queen. You're welcome, Magic. Thank you, Raider girl. I appreciate that. You're safe here. I promise you that, Magic. Miss Nessa, how have you been? I don't know what to do, y'all. I'm gonna let y'all know that we are at 40,000. Like, I feel like thank you is an insult. Raider girl, you just triggered what I was gonna say. So we're at 40,000. I thank y'all, but we're gonna put a pause on that. Raider girl, check this smooth grooves out. Turn this down a little bit. I've learned, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but rock with me here. It's kind of like, let me make sure I say this correctly. All right, got it. When we stop looking for people, and not in the sense like I'm, right, I get it, I want a good woman, I do, the relationship that I'm trying to have, right, to construct a polyamorous relationship, like I need to be able to feel comfortable with people who are having this type of maturity and understanding that I don't do emotions in the sense of, I'm mad today and I don't know how to express myself. Whoa. What? I got children that can do this, right? When I realize that I do know what I want, I'm not questioning it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not debating upon it. I'm not writing down lists. I'm not wishing for it. Like, I know what I want, right? When you know what you want, that's no different than when a child sees a commercial and they're like, I want that. And you're like, it just came on TV. Have you ever seen it before? And they're like, no. But like, how do you know I want it? Because I want it. And their brains are like, you can't tell them shit else. They want it. The weird part is that's what you're supposed to feel like. That's how you're supposed to feel about things. Then you take the gratitude and learn how to weigh to procure what it is that you're asking for. Maybe you have these resources for you to go ahead and get that thing that you want now. Or maybe you have to put in the work that's necessary for you to get to that level of vibration because you're not able to receive it because of the decisions you made in your life prior to you saying, I want that. As soon as you know what it is you want, shut the hell up. Outside of that, you don't actually want anything. It's more so towards the desire itself upon availability to what it is you feel like you deserve. Oh, by the way, everything in your life at this very moment is what you deserve. When I realized that I did not have to actually want to be in a relationship or want a certain type of woman or want a certain type of job, or I started to operate just on feelings. Check it out, gets crazy. I started to say that we are manifesting to be single. And most people who are single will be like, who's manifesting to be single? And I'll be like, are you single? And they'll be like, yeah. Do you manifest to be in a relationship? They'll be like, well, yeah. I said, the reason why you manifest to be in a relationship because you're single right now and you're not happy. Because if you were happy, you would be happy that you were single and you wouldn't have to manifest to be in a relationship. And then all of a sudden, you ever notice how you get into a relationship and everybody's like, yo, how you doing? You're like, I was single for almost 4 years and you never said hi. But all of a sudden, your energy is raised to that next level. Your next is in your life now. Your vibration is rocking where it needs to be. And your ex is now knocking at your door. Why? Because when you were loving yourself, that's when they start to pay attention. But as soon as you stop, or someone else loves yourself, as soon as that vibration inside yourself is low, nobody want to mess with you. Nobody want to hit you up. Nobody want to see what's good with you. It blows my mind that as soon as my head started to realize that I was good by myself, then everything else became clearer in the distance. I'm just like, if I can create this happiness and this peace by myself without the existence of someone else being in front of me, you don't need anybody. And so you only operate energetically. And so if you rock at the energy that I have, it's so simple. Here's the cool part. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because energy never lies. And so if you're single right now and you're not doing backflips and you're manifesting to be in a relationship, you got to understand that you're manifesting at a low vibration when you should be at a high vibration. If you're at a high vibration, you're not going to manifest anybody because you feel in love with yourself. And so when somebody does come into your life, you only saw them because of the energy you were operating with organically for loving yourself. You become invincible. If you're single right now, if you're in a relationship right now, everybody should be on the same page. If I'm in a relationship, that woman, by what she says is happiness, should be as happy as she can fucking imagine. But not because of Kyle's existence. Because that's how she was before I met her. So if I die, she'll be the same way. You were happy before you met them. You'll be happy before after they're gone, whether it's through death or that was the last time you spoke to them. But Raiders girl, by you saying that, it triggered it. So I just want you to know, like, we can always put ourselves in a position and you'll be like, damn, I forgot I manifested this shit. You be sitting there talking to people, you just be in this motherfucker. But you so happy that you get all this love, all this money, all this joy, all this toys. And you're like, I have an abundance of love. I have an abundance of energy, spirituality. And now you learn that you can share this with anybody. But you become mindful because some people, they don't treat the things you call of value the same. And so you just, right? Like, I got something for you. Oh, you don't like that? Okay. Well, give me some more. Oh, no. What you think this is? No. Right? It's your love. They're going to judge you anyway. So hopefully that made sense to you, Queen. Don't hope, Raider girl. Hopefully that 2-bit conversation I just gave you would put you past hope. And then you're picking. Life should be in an abundance. You should not feel like you're like, I'm hoping. Nah, it's literally, it's by your energy. Close your eyes. You'll feel it. So you there. Anybody on this page, we're manifesting. This is speaking it. Everything we say that inspires our frequency to go up. If anything I've said has made your frequency go up, and when I'm talking to myself and I feel my frequency go up, that's that manifestation for frequency to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So thank you in advance, whether you understand that you are loving me or not. Right? Appreciate for those who've been sticking in there, man. 40K is a lot. I'm just like, I think I got a little new niche. I got some things that's coming out, so I'm feeling good. Right? Frequency is rocking. Energy is right. My lips is hurting from smiling so much. Good. So you heard your voice. Yes, y'all, we're at 40K. What's up, Mary? Good morning. Yep. The spirit, it contradicts it in a way, though, where it's like, you don't got to leave. You don't have to leave. If you're going to be nasty, you don't got to worry about leaving. I'm going to get you out. But it's like in a way where it's like I enjoy people who enjoy being joyful. It's like, I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm going to do a backflip. I'm like, do it. They're like, nah, they're going to say something. Fuck them. I don't give a shit. I ain't seen nobody do a backflip in a long time. That'd be cool and stuff. And they're like, you really want to do a backflip? If you want to do a backflip, and then they do the backflip, somebody's like, why are you doing backflips? Because he's fucking happy. I'm like, yeah, but he ain't got to do backflips. He's showing out. You're jealous because you can't do a backflip. Why can't you clap and be like, yo, why are we doing backflips? And so that's how I look at ego when people get all, for lack of better words, uncomfortable. right? When it comes to people expressing emotions. Because as a child, we were told we couldn't express that emotion. We got to kill the ego. When you do, things do get interesting. Yes, Christmas, indeed, get into the vortex. You wouldn't be happier from being with someone else. They just add to your experience. Yes, yes. I've always wanted babies. I manifested that, but I left something out. What? Oh, I'm not sure if we were supposed to laugh out loud. You confused me on that one. Thank you, Miss Nessa. Good, Mary, right? You find that balance where, like, I'm good either way. And you just find people that enjoys your energy. I had an ex used to say, you want people around you that say yes. And it used to kind of hurt my feelings because I didn't know how to protect myself. And then I got older. I was like, no. Nah, yeah, I want people around me that says no. I want everybody who says no. I want everybody who says no to be my best friend. But I was so warped at abuse that when I heard you want people to say yes, I was just like, yeah, no, I don't want nobody to say yes. No, if you're not saying yes, I don't want to be in your life. Why am I in your life? Hi, I'm in your life, and I'm going to tell you no for everything you ask from this point on. You sure? No. Here, you stop? No. Quit playing? No. Like, what? And even if it gets to the point where it's like you're always saying yes, I'm saying no to anything that causes me harm on your behalf and my movement. Outside of that, rock out with your socks out. So I hope you're enjoying that, girl. The 4 agreements and the mastery of love. I've heard about that, Xmas list. Let me write that down. I've heard of someone mentioning to me. I might have seen it. Thank you, Raider girl. Of course, Diaz, you're the one who has the choice of accepting someone else into your life. Ooh, it took me a long time to get that. Good love, good Raider girl. Thank you, Mary. I'm back. I never feel like I'm leaving. So as I said it before, if you see me taking a break, I'm adjusting energy. I've learned that we grow exponentially every moment. Like even now, from the time that I press the go on the live to this, to the time that I get off, I grew a lot. But I see it. I see its process. I see the people that's growing with me. I see it in a way when I say words and I'm like, oh, I see it. Like I see it that fast. And I can sit there and break myself up in so many different dimensions and watch myself grow. And so this growth is always to the point where, let's see who said it. This growth is always to the point where even in the absence of someone, put yourself in positive energy, not saying that you're not, but put yourself in a positive energy when you're thinking about that person. So the time that you see them, you don't miss them. You're thinking about them in a positive way. Prayers, meditations, letters, whatever the case may be. And when they get to your life, they'll say, things where it's like, sorry, I was gone so long. Like, no, I patiently await you. It's what you did when you were patiently awaiting them. What thoughts did you have? What energy were you sending, right? And there's people that we miss dramatically, but don't ever give up on loving them, even in the mental energy. If they're in your head, don't think negatively, because what they're going through might be the most dangerous thing they've ever had to experience. And that loving energy that you have inside your head, for those who understand that type of energy, could be literally be the energy that heals and saves them. So, that's unconditional love. That's a part of unconditional love. Like, they're your nexus, they on to the next one, blah, 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 blah. And the love that you present inside yourself is unconditional because you're always loving like that. And so if you get to that point, when you're absent in somebody's life and someone's like, I miss your talks and everything, that it just lets you know that the energy that you're operating with is consistently growing. I don't know the last time I talked to Mary, but from that time to this time, she has this energy that's inside in her in representation of Kyle or Use Love First or who are mom or dad, whoever this person is, they're inside of you. So once again, I'm one of those people now that's learning how to receive positive things. So when you said I missed your talks and had good vibes, it makes me realize that I live so much in my now, I forget the nows of the past that we call memories, and I get little surprises because I'm so in my now, where the last time I talked to you could have been a year ago. And I know it wasn't that long, but now here we are today, and I'm just like, thank you. This is beautiful. Did it all make sense? So I appreciate it. I'm glad you're back. I don't believe in divorce. I had that. They love both of us. Good. Are you in a, you mean both of us? You got to help me out, Magic. I'm piecing things together, Queen. Thank you, love. Appreciate it, Gabby. Thank you, Raider. 40K, was that 10K? Right, it's crazy, Gabby. I don't, because of how I see things, I don't see it how people see things. Somebody's like, you really growing? And I was just like, nah. And then I got to the point where I was just like, I still have the old conditionings of actually doing good. And what does it mean when you do good? And, you know, the accolades that come from doing good, because I don't like to receive awards that I like to hide and, nah, it's cool, you know, that type of stuff. You're supposed to be able to draw. I had to talk with my son. I was like, when you walk across the stage, when you do something good, when you do something exciting, celebrate, son. Do not let no one steal your joy from you. Do your backflips, man. Do your moonwalk. Go ahead and do your right and dance. He was just laughing and everything, because I don't want anybody to ever take that happiness from him when he does something that he's happy about. Because the shit that's going to be messed up about, people going to tell him, oh, toughen up. Oh, you be okay. So it's crazy that, you know, because one day we will. Right? Well, it's happening now. Like, there's people that's pressing the add button, and I understand those moments. It's just as important and just as beautiful as the first person who pressed add. I don't know who the first person was, but, well, not for TikTok, but I do know. So once again, thank you for 40K, y'all. We are at 40K. Yeah, it's just how it is. I'm so happy to be alone. I discovered myself again. I forgot it before. Never forget it, Queen. It's still in you. Thank you, Magic. It's in past February. How do I? I'm sorry about that, Dana King. Hey, hit me up on my one-on-one. I want to give you some help on that. On topic of completing life goal, like passing big exams, please share. On topic of completing life goal, like passing big exams, please share thoughts. When you cross the finish line, it's a finish line that was set by people who told you it was a finish line. Other than that, it was just something that was in front of you. Think about that. Right? Whenever you cross the finish line or accomplish any goal, when you started going to school, you didn't know anything about a graduation. You didn't know anything about a degree. You didn't know anything about being a millionaire. And so you start placing these things that you call a value based off the information that you received as a little boy, as a little girl. And so from the time that you were born until up to this time where you said, I'm going to have this goal, you started to follow those steps that led to that success of that goal. But why aren't you celebrating that first step the same way you're celebrating the handshake to your degree? Why are you not doing backflips for the first penny than you would if you had $999,999.99? why do we as people, not so much as you, but why do we as people put value on anything external to us? When I woke up, I won. Listen, y'all. When I open my eyes, I crossed every finish line. Whatever finish line I was supposed to cross today, I crossed it as soon as I opened my eyes. If I don't open my eyes, then whatever finish line I was supposed to cross, I crossed them before I closed them. As soon as I open my eyes, every finish line I cross. And so I celebrate each and every single moment like an award is being placed on my chest every single time. And I'm like, I don't like this award. Like, it's life. You're going to take this award. I'm like, shit, this sucks. Right? But like, oh, I like this award. I'm like, I'm feeling good. Somebody said, you shouldn't still feel good. I'm like, but you wouldn't tell me I shouldn't feel bad when I was feeling bad. Every step from the first step to that finish line is just as important as crossing the finish line. But someone told us differently. There are only goals because someone told you that if you reach this, you're successful. I'm trying to be the guy to tell you that when you woke up this morning, that's all you needed to do. Everything else is just for child's play. Taking care of your children because you want to. Being respectful to your mom because you want to. Being mean to whoever because you want to. And you're just hoping you don't deal with the consequences that could potentially lead to something that's outlandish to what you call an outcome. Outside of that, goals are only set by other people's reality so that we can be controlled by their limits, not our own. For lack of better words. But, right? What if that was the greatest speech I've ever given? Are we going to say now? Is it going to be on YouTube sometime and I'm 60? But why can't we do it now? Why can't we smile this big? I don't think my smile is going to be as pretty when I'm 60, y'all. We're going to try though. Why can't I celebrate this big right now? They're going to call you names. But your goals are anything that you say you want to attain. As soon as you have that idea, that is the biggest goal itself. No one else has it. If they do, go share it with them. If not, I say keep it to yourself and enjoy the process. How's that make sense? Or how's that feel for you? Sorry, I missed a pick. Where you at, Cappy? I'm sorry about that. You're welcome, Raiders girl. Get ready to get off y'all at 9. Ooh, we didn't meditate in a minute, huh? Good, thank you, Gabby. You too, Natalie. Good, Top. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate the share, love. Once again, I record them if YouTube don't do nothing weird, and I upload them daily whenever we go. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's hashtag USELOVEFIRST. It's also in my bio as well. Thank you, Miss Nessa. If the goal no longer exists, it's no different than the goal that you plan on making tomorrow that you don't see yet, but you're pretending that you're pretending that you're gonna wake up tomorrow. So any goal you don't accomplish was existing or not existing, no different than the day you thought of it, right? It's no different than you saying, oh, look at that star, but there's so other many stars behind you that you've never even mentioned, that you've never even pointed out, but they existed too. You just didn't have a reason to label them. And so what you consider a goal, it might be a 5-year plan, might be somebody's Tuesday. This is not to say don't have goals. It's to take it to the next level. See how many people you can get or inspire to reach their goals without putting in the same process they used to put in. When I say that I reach goals quickly now, like, I feel like I'm cheating. I've said that before. And now that I understand how to process certain things, like, this is what people are doing, this is how the greats are doing, and all the information they've been putting out, like, you get it. You get it. You understand that everything that you're going to figure out is going to be figured out. Just leave it alone and enjoy the process. There was a time when you didn't have a goal for the goal that you had last. You've met that goal. That goal no longer exists because you're the one that says that you crossed that finish line. You're the one that says that you finished that process. However, you could have extended that goal. You could have gave it another month. You could have said you sucked at it, or whatever the case may be. And so it's kind of like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But it's the energy you create. It's what you put behind it. They're going to judge you anyway. So just do it the best way you can. Take care, Magic. Thank you for your companionship, your love. I feel like I owe you some more focused attention, if you will, because the things you were speaking about, I don't know if you're still in there, but I'm definitely hit you up. No, not a problem, Mary. What's up, Dag? Thank you, Gabby. You enjoy your morning as well. I got guests coming. I need to go. Likewise, Top. Oh, no, trust me. When I say it's all love on here, I love debating. I love talking. I love life. I do. All right, I tell anybody is that if you're going to be nasty and you're one of those people and you feel like this is the environment, hit me up on my cell. I'll switch the energy to match yours, and we'll see if you want to continue with that, right? And most people are wanting to be heard. And so when you hear someone, most people are looking for that argument, and that's not what I do. I get it to the position where we can hold each other to the point where you're like, I'm listening, right? So I'm always for a good, yeah. What's up, Coach? I'm in Australia, still home at the moment. I was thinking I quoted be water, not bring water, my friend. Where you at, Cappy? Thank you, Terry, for the share. What you got, Alucard? We should talk, my brother. I'm a priest, 360, and you have great wisdom also. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, for sure, on top. Thank you. I appreciate that. Which I smiled because I was like, I love a good, I love it. Like, I love a good going back. What? I love picking brains. What? Hey, shout out to the moderators. I don't feel like I give enough love to the moderators because they move so effortlessly throughout. Like, everybody's talking, right? So I see it, and can we show some love to the moderators? Can we drop some hats, little hearts? All right, please. I appreciate it, y'all. Take a note. I still got a note for doing this other thing that's coming up. Thank you, Luminous Love. Likewise to you, sweetie. Good morning, Doobie. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it, sweetie. Oh, I got you. All right. I got you now, Cappy. I was a little lost. Thank you, Debbie. How you doing? Thank you. Hey, love. That's what's up, Cappy. All right, so I want to answer your question, Dana King, on how one moves on. But everybody's going to receive things differently. So certain things when it comes to relationships, about certain things, I won't do it in group environment because of triggering and where everybody might be at consciously with their relationship. But we'll say how to move on from just anybody. You don't. What you do is respect them. I'll give you a hard, easy situation. You're trying to be with the man, and the man is like, don't talk to me. I don't want you to text me. I don't want you to, whatever the case may be. And if somebody is treating you that way, the best thing you can actually do is respect them. If you love them, you're going to love them for who they are. You don't have to like it. You don't have to drive your car off the bridge. So if someone is saying, don't talk to me, don't communicate with me, don't reach out to me, then put yourself in the position where you love them so much that you're going to do just that. And so instead of them playing that game, if you will, why haven't you reached out to me? Excuse me. Why haven't you done this to me? You're just like, you told me not to. You told me, and I'm going to respect you. Like, I'm not going to beg you to be in my life. I'm not going to, plead or anything. I've stated my case, or I've expressed myself, or I've shown my affection, or I've, and if not, then this is where that person comes in as a individual and say, hey, can we talk about said situation? Hey, can we talk about said event that's going on, because I'm uncomfortable. And if we're in a relationship, no different if your child was uncomfortable, where you'd be like, oh, well, too bad, you're uncomfortable, toughen up. And would you go over there and try to help your child to navigate what it is that they're feeling, whether you can cause immediate affection towards that child, or you get them to communicate to you what's wrong with them. But when a person tells you what it is that they're doing and you're not able to effectively give them what it is that they're asking for, oh, by the way, you are wanting to, because it is a relationship, then you ask them, how can you? If not, then you remove yourself from the situation so you do not put yourself in harm's way. And so this can be applied in a way where a person has passed in your life, or you have an ex, or you've got a divorce, or you lost something that you couldn't. And the best thing you can do is give gratitude to the time they gave you. From the time that you met said whoever, from the time that you met said relationship, whether it's a pregnancy, whether it's a death, whether it's anything, from the time that you met that said thing to the time they left your life. Ugly way, good way, violent way, quiet way, in their sleep, gunshot, whatever. Take the time that you've gotten from them and learn from it, and show gratitude that you would take that time and become better, that you would take that time and respect that their existence, they were still a king, they were still a queen, or it was still a positive event. Why? Because only you can change your view to reality. Others can inspire you, but we cannot force you. And so as far as moving on across the board, don't actually move on. Move with, because everything grows simultaneously, right? You might just be too big for it. You might have outgrown it. You might have gotten whatever the case may be, but hopefully that's made some type of sense. And then we're going to do some meditation. Thank you, Natural Magic, for the share. I've been listening to this, like, manifesting miracles and hurts and everything as of late, and they've been doing pretty good. So once again, Raider Girl, I definitely am recording this one, so I'll definitely be uploading it to the YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's also my bio. All of my platforms are #UseLoveFirst. Yes, I changed one. Yes, all of them hashtag use love first. What's up, Gibraltar? What's going on? How you doing? Thank you, love. I got your user T Live. Debbie, hit me up on my DMs. I definitely will feature some information. A quick note for anxiety is that you're looking at the future in a negative way. Change your perspective and remain calm. If you're anxiety, you can be excited. If you're looking at something in a depressed way, using it in a value as opposed to depression, where you get to see it. What's the word? How he used this gentleman used. You're looking at time in a negative way and you're beating yourself up over a decision you've made. You cannot change that decision. You can change it the way you look at the decision. No different than saying, dang, man, if I didn't have to go to the store, I wouldn't have been in this car accident. Or you could be like, dang, because of this car accident, I couldn't write with my right hand, so I had to learn how to write left-handed, so I became ambidextrous. And so you could look at the car accident as a way where it allowed you to be a better artist or what have you from that situation, or you can look at the previous way and complain about it. And you just change the way you look at your change the way you look at your past through your perception, through your perspective. I don't know why I'm tongue twisted. Through your perspective, allowing yourself to do this with your depression will turn it into not excitement. That's for anxiety. It's a word I'm looking for. It slips my tongue. I've been saying it for so much. But anyways, I'll stumble around with it. So when you change your perception and the way you're looking at your past, it's not depression anymore. It's like you're starts with an R. Appreciating is the word. But it's like you're appreciating your past, understanding what you've done, and it's like a positive memory. You're like, man, I remember this happened when I was 2 or 12 or last week or 10 minutes ago or 10 seconds ago. And you look at it in a way where you're able to gain from it, no matter if it's a bad situation, something dark and negative that happened to you, or a good situation. But I have so much more that I can feed you as far as information, as far as one-on-one. Remember, what's depression to you may not be depression to everyone else. All right. All right. The word is still banging around in my head, y'all. I'm telling you now, I'm nipping at it. As soon as I get off, it's gonna get to me. Thank you again, User Live. All right, we're going to do the meditation. So if you've not meditated before, once again, just breathe in through your nose, find you a good resting place, sit down, lay down. If you're busy or what have you, focus on your breathing, but you don't have to bring all your focus. Trust me, you multitask doing a lot of things. Your heart is beating, your blood is flowing, you're blinking. All these things are happening simultaneously. So, gently put yourself in a position where you can feel yourself breathe through your nose. You can feel the air go up through your nostrils, down to the back of your throat, down your nasal cavity, down to your throat, down to your nasal or your chest cavity, and you can feel. And I've done it this past weekend. You can feel where, like, you're filling the air fill your lungs up, and you get to the point where you're feeling the hair move on your skin, and you can bring yourself to such mindfulness. You want to try to do that as often as you can. And what I've learned is that as soon as you kind of release out of that mindfulness, you'll have your thoughts that follow are at its crispiest, if you will. They're at its clearest. And do the best you can to see these things without labels. Do the best you can to see these things without judgment. And just kind of let it flow like a gorgeous set of colors that are just kind of unfolding in front of you. And you don't have to actually see colors. If you see nothing, good. Because how many times have you seen something? And so if you're one of those people who don't see anything, then mindfulness for you is for you to bring, a greater peace or a greater tranquility, if you will. If anybody wants a one-on-one as well, Fiverr.com, right? That's that app. The site is still up. Emergencies, if you have emergencies and I can get to you within 2 hours, right? That's on our Cash App. And merchandise is out on Etsy. So please give those things a look. And, oh yeah, I haven't seen y'all in a minute. Victoria, I love you. Lamisa, I love you. TJ, I love you. Queen, I love you. Rochelle, I love you. Debbie, I love you. Divine, I love you. Mary, I love you. Who's this? Marina, I love you. Top, I love you. Beatty, I love you. Josic, I love you. Elias, I love you. Grace, I love you. Karina, I love you. Sylvia, I love you. Luminous, I love you. A2Z, I love you. Yolanda, I love you. Burry, I love you. Tree, I love you. Who else we got? Camilla, I love you. Grace, Steve, Yobli, I love you. Miss Nessa, I love you. Wildfire, I love you. Shorty, I love you. Man, we rocking today, y'all. We've been on it for a minute, though. Today, man, yeah, I keep forgetting that today is the first day, so I'm feeling a lot of great things. It's a lot of crazy good energy, like, it's pretty dope. Hit me my DMs, and I will get back to you, and we'll go from there. All right, I appreciate everybody, so we're going to get this started. Just 10 minutes. (9:09). That's a good sign. Let's go. Thank you, Queen. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It's good to see y'all again. Hit me up, Debbie. Thank you again, Tree Goddess. Hey, Deborah. How you doing, love? Hit me up on my DMs there, to live or to live. It's funny you say butterfly. I'm gonna text you some stuff later. What's going on, Cadis? Yeah, your name.